Dear students, welcome to DACJ Home Classes, a digital initiative by Directorate of School Education, Jammu. I am Jyoti Diwan. The presentation I have brought for you is the poem Inklings from the Dark by Abdul Rahman Rahi, Class 12th, Chapter 17th. This poem tells the story of a father who sees joy of hope and peace in his child's face. Dear students, it's very wonderful and interesting poem. Hope you will enjoy it. Dear students, I introduce you to the poet Abdul Rahman Rahi. Abdul Rahman Rahi is an outstanding Kashmiri poet, translator and critic. He was born in Srinagar in 1925. He has a master's degree in English as well as Persian. He was awarded the Indian Sahitya Academy Award in 1961 for his poetry collection Navroz-e-Sabah and the Padma Shri in 2000. He is the first Kashmiri writer to be awarded the Jananpith, India's highest literary award, for his poetry collection Syahrud Zare-Mans, translated in English and named in Black Drizzle. The poem Inklings from the Dark marks a gradual shift from sadness and despair to hope and a promise of happiness. The poet is unhappy in the beginning, but later on he finds happiness, hope, and peace. Now, let us study the poem in detail. Yesterday my sleep driven off, and the thread of my fancy slit. I spied an eagle in the wild shadows of my mind. On its beak, in the same old fashion, smoldered the blood of the dove, whose feathers were shed by hilltops into the atmosphere. Turning my head on the pillow, I sighted a deep, dark chasm, and rose and leaned my back against the wall, with the cool of the winter in the marrow of my breast. In these opening lines, the poet says that yesterday, when he was gripped in a deep slumber, his fancies were disturbed by some thoughts. He imagined an embarrassing scene. He saw that a powerful eagle, in the same old familiar manner, has grabbed a dove in its beak. The blood of the poor dove glowed like fire, and its feathers had also fallen into the atmosphere by hilltops. The poet is disturbed. Perhaps he reminded of an incident from the past when he probably killed someone or witnessed someone killing other. The eagle represents the merciless, powerful, who dominate over the weak and oppress them. When he turned to the other side on the pillow, the poet witnessed a vast, dark gap. He rose and stood against the wall, but the wall didn't support him as he had wished. There was very cool, as it was fair winter. He could feel the coldness even at his heart, out of fear and horror. Dear students, now let us have a look on some difficult words. Fancies. Fancies is a plural of fancy. To have something, to dream to get something. Kalpana karna. Slit means to torn. Espied. Espied is a past participle of espy. To see something unexpectedly. Smolder. To burn slowly. Svulgna. Chasm. A deep narrow opening of a rock, जिसे हम खाई बोलते हैं. Marrow. It's a soft tissue containing a lot of fats in the center of a bone. But in poem, the word is taken as the center of one's being. My lips froze dry as whispering reached me from outside the window. The snowflakes were sailing into the shelter of the crevices. Not a mouse did creep from under the box to the store cabinet. In place of my upper garment, a cat hung by the hanger. The lips of the poet had also were dried due to the brutal atmosphere. He heard a rustling sound from outside the window. Actually, it was falling snow so heavily that the snowflakes were gushing into the shelter. The atmosphere was so harsh that even a mouse couldn't endeavor to creep from under the box to the store cabinet. A cat was also hung up on the hanger in place of the poet's upper garment. See students, snowflakes means pieces of snow. Crevice means a narrow crack in some space, जिसे हम दरार बोलते हैं. Rubbing my eyes, I tried to pull the quilt up to my cold back, but oh, the kangri shook and the cold, hapless ashes kissed my feet, while the owl hooted outside, "Oh, to you, oh!" Fain would I have raised a cry of lament had my heart stood by me. The poet rubbed his eyes in surprise, as if he could not understand what was happening around him. He tried to pull the quilt up to cover his cold body, but his kangadi shook and overturned, and helpless ashes touched his feet. The owl hooted outside ominously. The owl seemed to be saying that the poet would have no peace of mind. Dear students, see the difficult words. Kangdi, a clay pot for warming. Mostly श्रीनगर में हर घर में होती है ये. Fain, happily. Lament, to express grief. Suddenly I called to my mind my darling son. How raptly did he listen to my bedtime tale last night, when I told him of the agony of the oyster in her travails, but the only heard part of the tale when sleep overtook him. All of a sudden, the poet recollected his beloved son. The poet says that his son fondly heard the bedtime tale that he narrated to him last night. In the story, the poet talked him about the oyster that undergoes troubles in her travails. But his son heard only half of the tale because his sleep overtook him. Now see the difficult words. Raptly, to give complete attention. पूरा ध्यान लगाना. Agony, mental pain. Oyster, a large sea creature that produces pearls, जिसे हम सीप कहते हैं. Travails, the difficulties in a particular situation. I rose like a moonstruck man and turned on the light and found him lying by the wall like a mushroom on the mount, in deep slumber with fragrant blossoms blooming on his lips, and a drop of sweat dawned afresh, playing on his brow. The poet then lazily stood up like a crazy man. He switched on the light and saw his son lying deeply asleep like a mushroom on the mountain. His son was displaying a beautiful smile on his lips. The poet says that his lips were blooming with fragrant blossoms. The poet also mentions that in spite of the harsh and cold atmosphere, he experienced a drop of sweat that dawned afresh on the brow of his son. By using sweat, dawn afresh, the poet makes a positive note for a better and peaceful future. Now see the difficult words on the top. Moonstruck means crazy. Mount, mountain, slumber. Sleep, blossoms means when a tree produces flowers before producing fruit. Perchance he was dreaming the rest of the tale. Perchance the oyster had labored forth a pearl. In the last two lines, the poet says that his son was perhaps dreaming of the best part of the tale that he had not heard last night. In the story, perhaps the oyster had produced a pearl. Thus, the poem ends on a note of hope and cheerfulness. Perchance means perhaps, possibly, by chance. The word perchance is pronounced perchance in American English and perchance in British English. Dear students, after reading the poem, now let us come to the summary of the poem. The poem Inklings from the Dark is an English rendering of a Kashmiri poem by Rahman Rahi. It's a metaphysical poem focusing on the concept of the apparent and timely triumph of evil or vice, on good or virtue, but the ultimate, inevitable, and everlasting victory of the good, the virtue. The poem talks about the innocence of youth. The poet dreams of an eagle with the blood of the dove on its beak. This image calls to attention how the strong dominate over the weak. The rest of the poetry is morbid and eludes an era of cold and sadness. The poet concludes how his innocent boy was captivated by the story of the oyster he was narrating. The word eludes means to escape. Aura means Divyajyoti, the gracefulness. The concluding line depicts the poet looking into the abyss and noticing his child sleeping and awake in a dream world. Who knows? Maybe the child is completing the story of oysters in his dream. Thus, though the poem starts on a depressing note, as there are violence and alienation, and it concludes on a positive note and hope for the better future that is signified by the sun, who is the symbol of future. The central idea of the poem. The poet was disturbed in his sleep. He had happy dreams, but his dreams were shattered by an act of violence he had committed some time in the past. He failed to be happy. He had a promise and hope symbolized to the glance he had of his innocent son, enjoyed a sound sleep. He saw hope in his son. The metaphors used in the poem: thread of my fancy's slit, the cool of the winter in the marrow of my breast, fragrant blossoms blooming on his lips, a drop of sweat dawned afresh playing on his brow. The similes used in this poem, like a moonstruck man, found him lying by the wall like a mushroom on the mount. The poetic device personification is also used in this poem. The cold, helpless ashes kissed my feet. The personification is a figure of speech which endows animals, ideas, or inanimate objects with human traits or abilities. Dear students, let us look at some important questions of this poem. Where does the poet see the eagle? The poet sees the eagle in the wild shadows of his mind. Now I explain the connection between the eagle and the dove. There is a connection between the eagle and the dove. The eagle is one who devours the helpless. The dove stands for the helpless sufferers at the hands of the eagles. Why does the poet rub his eyes? He rubs his eyes in surprise as he sees a cat in place of his upper garment hanging by the hanger. See the reasons that make the poet feel cold. The poet feels cold because it's winter and snow is falling. The other reason is that the coal of his congery had been reduced to ashes. Why does the owl hoot, woe to you? The poet is haunted by a sense of guilt arising out of a violent act done by him in the past. The poet feels that even the owl, a bird of ill omen, hoots that he will be suffering more trouble in future. Now we describe an oyster referred to by the poet. An oyster is a large flat sea creature that lives in a shell. Some types of which can be eaten, some produce the pearls. It is a sign of hope. An oyster, जिसे हम समुद्र में रहने वाली सीप कहते हैं, जो शेल के अंदर मोती को जन्म देती है. Dear students, we end this poem with the hope and promise that one day everything will be all right as before. The happiness and cheerfulness will play on our faces once again. Thank you very much.